People are bored. We're all looking for an opportunity to break the routines of life every once in a while. We want to experience something different. We want to meet someone new. But most of us are afraid to be the ones to actually break the status quo and be the ones to initiate the interaction with that random person, right? To start that conversation. We fear that it might be awkward, or we won't know what to say, or maybe we'll make them feel uncomfortable because we said hi to them, or maybe we'll just get rejected and ignored. Right? We have all these fears which cause us to keep our headphones in, stare at our phones, and then wait for the perfect opportunity to meet someone new. The problem with relying on these perfect moments is we miss out on a lot of opportunities in our life, right? Personal growth opportunities, social opportunities, right? New friendships and dates. We miss out on business opportunities as well. Like a bunch of business opportunities can come from just, meeting new people. And so in this video, I'm going to give you a framework that I call the SPF framework, which you can take into the real world and you can use to quickly build connections with basically anyone, anytime, anywhere. I'm going to give you an example of how I used this in my own life recently to create social opportunity and an unforgettable experience for myself. A few months ago, I was visiting a new city in Australia that I'd never been to before. This was my first time there. I was just visiting a few relatives and they were the only people I knew there. Okay? So one evening I'm taking a walk around the neighborhood and I'm just feeling like a ghost, right? You know that feeling where it's like, you just feel like you're invisible because you know nobody knows you. You want to do things, you want to have fun, but when you got nobody around you, no connections, it's kind of hard to do that, right? So I decided, let's create some social opportunity. And what I did was I used the framework, the first part of the framework, which is S, okay? Let's actually write that down. The first letter stands for spot the opening. Okay? Spot the opening. Essentially what you want to be doing if you're looking to create connections with people out in the world, expand your network, create new friendships and dating opportunities perhaps, you want to spot the opening in the world. You want to look for openings where you can interact with new people. So this is what I was doing when I was taking this walk. I decided I'm going to put on the social lens and I'm going to look for places where I can essentially start an interaction with someone that I don't know. So I'm looking for opportunities, and then I pass this park, right? And this park has a group of 10 to 12 people and they're all having fun. They're listening to music, they're playing some cricket, having a picnic. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, that looks fun. But for a moment, I actually hesitated and I told myself, I'm too tired right now. I'm not in the mood. I gotta go sleep, right? That was my initial kind of reaction to this thought of going and approaching them and starting a conversation with them. But, I stopped myself, right? Because I know myself, right? I know these excuses that I give myself. And basically, I had this moment of clarity where I realized that this is the perfect opportunity to meet some new people, to build some new connections and have some fun. The next part of the framework is point something out. Okay? Pointing something out simply means that you make an observational comment. In my case, I commented on the group playing some sports. So I was like, hey, you guys look like professional athletes here. Just kind of like a funny, playful comment. And then I asked them if I can join them for a bit, right? And so that leads us to the last part of this framework, which is feel the moment. That last part is very important because, you'll start interactions with people and sometimes they'll land, sometimes they'll fizzle out, right? And you want to be kind of tuned into that, making sure that the vibe is right. Okay? Sometimes you'll start a conversation with someone and they're clearly busy or they're clearly in a rush to go to work or whatever. And you want to make sure that you're kind of attuned to that. What I did here was I just kind of felt the moment and saw how they reacted to my comment. And basically what happened is like immediately 3 of the people there in this group came up to me, they shook my hand, they were smiling. So I could immediately tell that I'm invited, right? The vibe is good, it's open, the energy is bueno. So basically I took that as a yes and I stayed there. And within 10 minutes they're offering me pizza, they're offering me drinks and stuff. So it was pretty awesome. We hanged out for an hour at the park. I'm chatting with all the people there. Within about an hour, some guy was like, who was there, he invited us all back to his place. He's having a house party. So we go there. So now I'm in this beautifully lit backyard. They've got a giant wooden table with a bunch of snacks and drinks, listening to music, having good conversations. And you know, all of this just happened basically because I used this framework. I spot the opening. I was looking for those openings and I saw it and then I took advantage of it. That's all. Very, very simple. And this created a memory for me on my traveling experience that I'll never forget. It was all because I made the decision, right? And just keep in mind, at first I had excuses, but I made the decision to go and say hi anyway, right? Just so you know, I'm not an extrovert. This is not something that comes necessarily naturally to me. I've just been building up this muscle to be able to, first of all, spot these openings and to kind of have the courage to go and say hi. If you want to learn this skill, which I highly recommend, again, you do if you want the opportunities that come with it and the confidence that it'll develop within you, it'll make you more attractive as a person. Take a day out of this week or next week where you go out specifically with the intention of trying out this framework. This can be in the daytime, in the nighttime, evening time, whenever, right? The point is you want to go somewhere where there's a large group of people that you can test this on. And what I want you to do is I want you to walk around by yourself and just look for openings. Try to spot an opening for a potential interaction. And when you spot that opening, which you will spot if you go to a place with even a decent amount of people, I'd like you to make an observational comment about what's happening, right? So maybe you're walking around in the shopping mall and you see someone who's holding a big balloon, right? That's a little bit out of the ordinary. That's something you can comment on. You can say, wow, that's an amazing balloon. I've always wanted one. Where do you get one? Right? Something stupid. It does not need to be anything super clever, right? It doesn't need to be anything very interesting. You can just make a very basic observational comment and that'll be enough. And then after that, I'd like you to just kind of hang out in that interaction for a bit and feel the moment, you know? It'll probably be a little bit scary for you if you haven't done this before. It'll be a little bit uncomfortable, but I urge you to stay in the interaction for some time and see if you can sort of read the other person and see like what they're feeling. What you'll find is most of the time you will make the other person smile, right? Their faces will light up because now they're having an interaction with someone new, and it'll be awesome for both of you. So give it a try and let me know what you think.